The other day I went to Elgin, Scotland. My train was on time this time, but the reader board was on vacation. Departure times and track numbers were written down old school. I grabbed a healthy drink for the trip, went to the turnstiles, put my ticket in to get in, and headed to track 6N to catch my train. I got a nice 4-seater section to myself with very quiet neighbors. Elgin is about an hour and 25 minutes northwest of Aberdeen by train with several stops in between. We were soon on our way, rolling through Aberdeenshire past farms, fields, and forests, and headed to Speyside. The countryside of northeast Scotland is gorgeous and makes for a great train ride. It wasn't long before we were pulling into Elgin right on time, or maybe just a little early. Get it? Little? I headed straight to the Granary for a full Scottish breakfast. Haggis absolutely required and served with eggs, bacon, black pudding, otherwise known as blood sausage, pork sausages, baked beans, potato scones, and toast. I needed a big meal, and I sure got one. I sacrificed coffee with breakfast to have a delicious pour-over at Batchen Street Coffee. I knew I wouldn't be back from my distillery tour before they closed, and I'm glad I made it over there. The town center of Elgin has everything you'd expect, but they also have several closes or corridors between buildings. There's plenty of history here to see, read, and learn about. Like the Elgin Cathedral and Biblical Gardens. There's not much blooming in mid-March, but the gardens was groovy. It had mosaics, appropriate quotes, lots of birds, and rain. And don't forget to leave a donation. The cathedral is across the street, and the River Lossie is steps away. I love the shot of the two of them from the land-shot bridge. Time to head to the Glen Moray Distillery, about a 35-minute walk away. There was a really nice lake along the way in Cooper Park, and this dude was high. This is the Duke of Gordon's monument on Lady Hill. I didn't have time to see and read everything I wanted to on this trip, but I'll be back. Less than a mile more and I arrived at Glen Moray. They started brewing beer in 1830 and moved on to whiskey in 1897. Nearly 120 years later, they are known as a discovery distillery, with a bunch of different expressions, including cask finishes like Chardonnay, Cognac, Port, Sherry, and Cabernet. I almost bought these coffee beans, but the whiskey I was drooling over was a little out of my price range. This was not my first distillery tour, but this was the biggest mash tun I've ever seen. It holds 7.5 tons of grain. Most impressive, though, as always, are the stills. The warehouse yard was pretty impressive, too. Glen Moray gets its water from a nearby upstream bend of the Lossie River we saw earlier. In Warehouse 1 is a row of casks, all with different finishes. Here, you get to smell the difference between around a dozen different expressions and see their finished colors in clear glass bottles. After the tour, you get to taste. I enjoyed an expanded tasting, which included their peated single malt and port, Cabernet, and sherry cask finishes. Then it was back to town to have another look around, grab some dinner, and pay a visit to Against The Grain for some delicious Breton cider, an abstractor pale ale, and a barrel-aged milk stout. The projected film show in town was looking pretty cool by this point, but I had to catch the last train back to Aberdeen. I was heading home with a bottle of Glen Moray port cask finish and some more great memories made here in good old bonny Scotland.